Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Wednesday, December 15th, 2010. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. If you're watching in London, it's 4:30 p.m. If you're in Hamilton, Bermuda, of course, it's 12:30, and for our friends in Mexico City, it's 10:30 a.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. We have some special viewers today from this location. This is the Village Charter School in West Trenton, New Jersey. Village Charter School is presided over by the head of school, Dr. Lee Byron, and the principal, Keoki Wooten Johnson, and the school has formed a TV club. The moderator of the TV club is Miss Macbeth, pictured here with some of her friends from the charter school. And the students are going to be watching the broadcast today to get some tips. We give a shout out to the Village Charter School and wish them a great deal of luck in their endeavor. And we thank them for watching. We'll go to our main story today. This is an incredible story in the reinsurance industry. The Insurance Insider is reporting that Rod Fox at Tiger Risk is pursuing broker veteran Ted Blanche and Dan Case for allegedly breaching their contracts after they defected to Goss Re in October. Here's a picture of Fox's on the left. On the right is Ted Blanche. For anybody who knows these two, they know that Mr. Fox is Mr. Blanche's long-term protege. This is really a seminal story. It's an extraordinary late chapter now in the recent life of Tiger Risk, I should say, which has seen Mr. Fox and the former founder of Ren Re, who is his co-founder of Tiger Risk, embroiled in an acrimonious legal battle involving Floridian insurer Royal Palm Insurance. Knowing both men, Mr. Blanche and Mr. Fox, as I do, I would have to say that this is a very trying time for the both of them, and I'm sure it's a situation that neither of them wanted to be in. But it does make for a good story, and we'll find out more about it. We mentioned yesterday that the estimates from the Christchurch, New Zealand earthquake keep rising. Well, Partner Re in Bermuda has chimed in. They've raised their loss estimate for the earthquake in New Zealand up to about $160 million. This is from their initial estimate of $64 million. The revision is based on a review of recent information received from several cedents and reflects the higher than expected number of new claims that came in November and December. Based on this information, Partner Re now thinks that the industry loss as a whole could reach $5 billion. Partner said that there have been no other significant large losses during the quarter. Leading Israeli underwriters Kesh International Underwriting Agency has acquired Lloyd's cover holder status. Kesh is based in Tel Aviv, and they insure the majority of the Israeli public bus service system. At an event at Lloyd's last night, attended by the chairman of Lloyd's, Lord Levine, and Graham White, the deputy chairman, the representatives from Kesh were present, and this is a big step for them because to obtain cover holder status at Lloyd's means that they can place business directly right into the system. News from Everest Re up the road here. They've announced today that they've entered into discussions with Heartland Crop Insurance regarding a potential acquisition of Heartland. Heartland is based in Kansas. The parties have entered into a non-binding letter of intent. The potential transaction, of course, remains subject to negotiation and execution of definitive agreement, but it seems to indicate that Everest is intent upon moving into the crop business. Aon Benfield has a new head of facultative reinsurance in China. They promoted Jingping Zhang to that role. Jingping has spent the past 2 years playing a central part in Aon Benfield's fac production when he was based in Singapore. He's now been given the responsibility for growing Aon Benfield's facultative team in China. Mr. Ping will initially relocate to Hong Kong at the start of next year, and he's ultimately going to move into Beijing. Aon Benfield FAC has also hired Terry Crowley, who was previously in a senior role with Guy Carpenter FAC based in Sydney, Australia. Mr. Crowley will join Aon Benfield's London business, working with Matthew Barnes on international retro business. Cowley was previously vice president at Guy Carpenter Fax Sydney with a senior producing role. The stock market in New York is up about 38 points, and also that Facebook founder, Mark Zuckerberg, has been named by Time magazine as its Man of the Year. We'll go to a word from our sponsors and come back with the rest of the news.
Design for peace.
We're getting a breaking bulletin here from Inside Fac magazine. Why don't we bring this picture up? This, of course, is the Metrodome in Minneapolis-St. Paul, a football stadium that was collapsed partially by a heavy snowfall. It forced the reschedule of a Sunday afternoon football game between the Vikings and the Giants. Well, apparently now, according to Breaking Fac News, the Metrodome roof collapse is actually going to hit the Lloyd's market. They're saying that property, business interruption, and cancellation costs are mounting, and it's now expected that the claim is going to reach Lloyd's. Inside Fac is reporting that Beasley Underwriters is the lead underwriter on the risk, and that the risk had been placed by Marsh as part of its cover for the National Football League into the London market. So that means that whatever claims costs that they're expecting have already penetrated the cover held by the Metrodome authorities and is now penetrated into the NFL cover. So that's very interesting. We'll see if we can get a score as to how much dollar-wise that claim is going to amount to, but it's not going to be small, obviously. Well, if you're on the Lakeshore Limited this morning heading for New York, this isn't news for you. The Lakeshore Limited that runs from Chicago to New York City on Amtrak, a passenger chain, had a engine catch on fire and blow up this morning. The 3 engineers on board the locomotive got out safely. There were 128 passengers on the train. This occurred at about 6 a.m. this morning in northern Ohio in a town called Elyria. The fire was put out. The train is stranded there in freezing weather, just sitting there. They're waiting for the arrival of a replacement locomotive from a freight train. Amtrak does not know how long the passengers will be delayed, but nobody's been injured. Meanwhile, in Athens, hundreds of protesters are clashing with riot police today across the central part of the Greek capital. They're smashing cars, hurling gasoline bombs. This is all part of the most recent labor protest against the Greek government's latest austerity measures. Police fired tear gas and flash grenades as the violence escalated outside the Greek parliament. Youths wearing black ski masks used sledgehammers to smash paving stones and then hurled the stones at police. The central post office near Parliament briefly caught fire. The chaotic clashes were among the worst since the start of Greece's financial crisis. In May, 3 people died when a bank was torched by rioters. Yesterday, 20,000 protesters marched to Parliament during a general strike. The strike grounded flights in Greece, closed factories, disrupted hospitals, and hit trains and bus services. The recent bad weather in England is expected to generate a claims figure that's going to exceed last year's claims total of over $1 billion US. This is according to the Association of British Insurers. A spokesman for the organization said that it's too early to provide an estimate of the total loss, but that claims are expected to total around £7 million a day. That's about 11.5 million US while the bad weather continues. Loss adjusters are saying that high claim volumes are coming mostly from North and West England and Wales and Scotland. Of commercial claims, North and West England have been most affected, accounting for about 16% of the claims. 21% of the claims are coming from the same area for household claims. According to the Association of British Insurers, a 21% jump in car insurance claims has been seen in Scotland, nearly half of which are related to snow and ice. Last year, UK insurers paid out around £650 million. It's about 1.1 billion US for the period December 18th to January 13th, when the country was hit by bad weather. It's going to exceed that big time this year. Well, our final story, let's bring this picture up. This is a picture of the iconic Lloyd's of London building, designed by Richard Russell. It's lit up in a rather festive mode there. The building is one of those new designs. It has the exterior of the building is possessed with many of the heating and ventilation and air conditioning systems. And of course, the inside is possessed with those famous underwriting rooms. Well, one rumor that we always heard about Lloyd's when we were over there is that the building was no longer owned by the Society of Lloyd's, but it had in fact been sold to a German bank, Commerzbank. In fact, the subsidiary of Commerzbank, the CLI Group, is actually the owner of the structure. Well, the current owners of the building, the CSI Group, the CLI Group, are fueling speculation that the building actually might be sold. They confirmed that they're continually observing the real estate market in the City of London. Although the building is not actively up for sale, they'd be willing to listen to offers. This has always been a source of some amusement, if you will, for Americans who obviously are very aware of the fact that Britain and England, as well as the United States, Britain and Germany and the United States have fought 2 wars over the 20th century, and now we have the Germans owning a iconic British structure, the center of all reinsurance in London, if not the world. So Lloyd's did own the building, and they sold it at a very hefty profit to the Germans some time back. So I'm sure it was a good business deal for all, as it will be for the German bank when they do sell it. The real estate is undeniably good, and I don't see Lloyd's moving anywhere soon. Stock market in New York remains up about 40 points right now. If we'll have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. If not, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.